Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back yet again to another episode of Fail PG. As usual, I am the Mighty Mage, and tonight we have Ross the Boss,
Yes. Boss the boss.
Mr. Goat,
Hey, what's up?
and Surge.
Can I not be the technician just like one time?
Nope.
No, you're always the technician.
But Dad,
Sorry, son.
No buts.
Danny, I don't want to anymore.
You heard your
That's
other
the wrong
father.
wrench. Get me the right one.
Blessed. I think that was the closest to actually sounding like Stewie saying that I've ever come in my entire life, by the way.
Okay. Why is my thing doing things that it's not supposed to be doing? You're supposed to be working.
It's because you touch yourself at night, sir.
Shut up.
Language.
Okay. Shut the F up.
There we go. That's better.
Wait, still language.
Oh. Dicks.
There we go. Oh, you know what? I got a thing I need to go turn off. One sec. But please start the intro. I'll be right ready.
Yeah, he failed. And that was only like 2 minutes in. Not even that, probably.
Unfortunately, that isn't even a record for him.
I know. He fell like 2 seconds. Just started.
So,
Okay.
we're actually going to start off with Captain Negros.
What?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Captain, you are standing on the top deck of your ship, the Phantom. It's relatively early morning, sun's low on the horizon, and you have your blade in hand and you're working through your practice forms. It's actually been pretty quiet on the water these last few days. After that last barge that ran through the blockade and managed to escape, you've only had one other vessel attempt it, and they weren't so successful. And since then, it's been incredibly dull out here. Yet, you and Captain Sharp and the others in the blockade have not yet been given permission to leave. You're still stuck out here. So, to fill your days, you practice the sword, walk the ship, harass the crew who are slacking on the job. But, boy, you could really use some good beer and some quality companionship these days. As you're working through your forms, sliding fluidly from one motion to the next, you hear a call from the man atop the mast. "Ship ahoy, Captain!"
Wait, am I Negro?
Yeah.
Obviously, only you would come
Negros.
up with a name like that.
I was about to say, it wasn't me.
Oh man. Wait, how did he sound again?
It's been a while, hasn't it?
Yeah. I know he was very flamboyant and arrogant, right?
Yeah,
And he was-
well, you've got a ship named the Phantom, so you've got some cause for that. Black
Wait,
sails and everything.
Describe the scene one more time.
Early morning,
Mhm.
you're doing your sword work on the top deck.
Mhm.
You're on the Phantom, which is a black-sailed ship,
Mhm.
rather unique in the fleet that belongs to Uruk, holding the blockade between Kish and the other northern towns and Lagash.
And I have a fleet too, right?
Yeah, you're technically not in charge of the fleet. For some reason you can't fathom, they decided to put Captain Sharp in charge instead of you. Although you firmly believe that you're the better captain. But you do have the ship, the Phantom. She's all yours. And you can do pretty much whatever you want as long as it's in support of the overall goal of holding the blockade. Again, the man in the crow's nest calls down to you. "Ship ahoy, Captain! Approaching from the north!"
It's always the north.
I'm like, wait, who's this? He's like, can you identify the ship from here?
"Hard to say, Captain, but it looks like it might be a Murad barge."
I'm right, Braj. Uh, get closer to so we get boarding distance.
All right, you want to close into boarding distance?
Yes.
All right, you give the order, and suddenly the ship explodes in a flurry of activity. Crewmen milling about the deck to haul sails and get out oars. The man on the tiller starts cranking the wheel over to bring the ship away from anchor, and you see a whole bunch of men gathering around the capstan to haul up the anchor. And not long after you've started this flurry of activity on your boat, you see men milling about across the way on Captain Sharp's boat. He apparently has seen the same ship and is trying to do the same as you. Now it's a race to see which one of you gets up and underway first.
Is he? Is his ship close enough to so if I scream, he'll hear me?
Yeah, you're close enough that you could shout back and forth.
Hey, what you doing? This is not a job for amateurs. I know what I'm doing. So just turn your ship around.
Hold on, I gotta get into my character. Hold on.
A lovely day this is going to be.
I saw it first. Hurry up, man. Let's go. Let's go.
Both of you roll 100 sides.
All right.
Ooh.
56, 59. I got 59.
10 away, but 44.
All right. The Phantom is the first one to get underway, but Captain Sharp's vessel is right behind. And as they come up to speed and take in full sail, they are able to catch up to you. And the two of you now are sailing parallel, a few hundred yards apart, northward up the river. And you see a speck appear on the horizon to the north, which must be this ship that the Crow was calling about. Reminder that both of you do have looking glasses, if you wanted to zoom in on this thing.
Too late, I'm already.
I take a closer look. I'm like,
Both full out like clink.
Mm-hmm. You both hold up your spy glasses on your respective ships and zero in on this shape. And sure enough, the Crow is right. It looks like a Murad freighter, a cargo vessel of some sort. Pretty large one, heavy looking, kind of slow. Both of you roll 12 sides for intelligence.
12.
I got a 5.
5.
I got a 9.
Captain Sharp, looking at this vessel that's approaching you, it seems awfully familiar. And the longer you study it, the more sure you are that you've seen this vessel before. And then it suddenly comes to you. This is one of the 2 tubs that ran the blockade almost a week ago now. Right after that smuggler's sloop that slipped away.
I go, oh yeah, hey. That ship, don't it look familiar?
I don't know. I it's the tip of my tongue. I kind of do, but I don't.
Remember when we was fighting that other thing, whatever that little stupid thing was, and this one just went on past us?
Well, can't be much if I don't remember it.
That's true. Think we should stop it?
You know what? You took my idea. Let's go.
Oh Lord, he's agreeing with me. But
Now you know it's not going to be a good day. You guys keep plodding northward, and this tub of a cargo ship keeps plowing southward, apparently unconcerned by the fact that 2 battle galleys are bearing down on it. And as you guys study it again with the looking glass, you can see you're starting to be able to see the crew now as it's getting closer. And they're at the sweeps, and they're rowing for all that they're worth. And the single sail is fully unfurled. but there isn't much breeze for it to catch. The wind is kind of against it in this case. You can kind of see a man at the back who's probably the captain standing by the tiller, and that looks like 2, maybe 3 people standing right on the prow of the ship in real dark clothing, all clustered together right around the front of the ship, and they're just looking at you. And they're too far away to resolve faces or any details. It's just that they're 3 of them in real dark clothing, all just staring at you.
Oh, like unconcerned, just very straight face?
Yeah. I mean, if everybody else is kind of like working hard to get as much speed out of the ship as they can, but these 3 figures on the front, they're just standing there like they don't care at all.
Oh, what are they looking at? Do you see Captain Sharp? Do you see these?
Yeah, Negroes.
These jokers.
Why is your name? Captain Gross. Would you like to take first honor?
Of course. I'm gonna let your amateur.
Amateur. 20 gold.
20 gold what?
Whoever hits them first.
Oh, that's too rash. You probably mess it up. How about 20 gold? Finds out what they want first.
Whoever gets to find out what they want first?
Yeah.
Huh. All right, go ahead. Go you first.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to say this. This is all looking really bad already.
Oh, yeah.
Remember I said that for what happens within the next 5 minutes.
Oh, this looks like death ahead, you know.
So, Negroes, you're gonna take the lead and try and close to boarding distance, I assume?
Yes.
All right. Give me a 100 side. And actually, Captain Sharp, give me a 100 side also.
Yes, sir.
Can I give you 100 side too?
No. I don't want your 100 side.
55. Wow, I'm keep getting this 55s. Holy crap.
Dang, I'm staying in the 40 range, 41.
You call out to your crew, Captain Gross, for more speed, and they answer immediately. The oarsmen pulling harder, the linesmen tightening up the sails to maximize what they can out of the pitiful breeze that you guys have to work with. And about the same time, your row of soldiers, your archers, step up to the front rail, knocking arrows, getting ready to engage. You see some men loading the harpoon on the front of the ship that you use to spear enemy vessels to bring them into boarding. Everybody's all ready. Your ship is a finely tuned machine. And standing around the deck, you nod approvingly, pull up the spyglass again to look at your quarry. And just as you're doing that, you see one of those dark clothed figures on the front of the ship take a couple steps forward until he's right up against the rail at the front of the ship. And you think you can see him raise a hand, almost like he's pointing at you guys. And a moment later, you notice that it's unseasonably cool. You didn't think it was that cold this morning when you were doing your forms. And actually, it's actually quite cool. You'd actually describe it as cold now. And a couple of the men working on loading the harpoon pause and shiver. And you notice there's frost forming on your rigging.
Can't hear you.
Can't hear you.
Sorry, I accidentally muted in my shoulder. Hey, I'm like, what's going on? Did it just change temperature all of a sudden? I never seen anything like this. Hey, what do you think? What do you think's going on? Is this just a weather anomaly? Must be nothing.
Some of the crew looking around are like, I don't know, Captain. I've never seen anything like this before. It was weird. And it gets colder still. Even as you guys are looking around, there's now frost forming on the deck planks. And the wind is now doing something a little bit strange. Instead of blowing lightly from the east, it seems to be confused. It's fluttering back and forth. Your sail keeps snapping taut and then going slack. Captain Sharp, you've fallen behind a little bit since Captain Gross called for more speed, and you're seeing all this from a little ways back. And you don't feel the change in temperature, but you do see ice forming on the other ship's rigging. And you see the figure on the front pointing at that ship.
Hey, to my crew, ho, slow down.
Slow! And your ship backs off a little bit further. And right as they're doing that, you notice that the wind seems to be blowing towards Negros' ship. But what's weird about it is it seems like it's blowing from more than one direction. You could have sworn that the wind was coming out of the east just a few moments ago, but now it seems like it's coming out of the east and the west, just by the way the ripples and the waves on the water are moving.
So what I do, I take my little spyglass, I look at Sir Gross, and then I say, okay, I see this, then I pan towards the ship and see if I can, extend, just a little bit closer. Maybe I can see what is he doing. See what.
Give me a 12 side for perception. Captain Gross, you notice that your ship is starting to buffet a little bit, to vibrate or buck in the increasingly rough waters. What are you doing?
I mean, what's going on? Man, you're like, can you get a read?
Captain, I don't know what's going on. It's like the currents have gone all crazy. And a couple of men up in the rigging, Captain, the wind is freaking out. It's like we're in a gale.
How come their ship is not being affected? What's going on?
Captain, I don't know what's going on, but I don't like this. And the ship starts rocking back and forth as the current gets more and more stirred up, and the wind seems to be rushing now. Although it still doesn't seem to know what direction it wants to rush from.
Well, can I roll for perception and see what that dark man's doing?
You can try, yeah.
I know in the story, but he doesn't know.
Right.
Go
for it.
Side?
Oh yeah, be a 12.
Man, I'm rolling 5 all day. Another 5.
You start to suspect that this might have something to do with the other boat, because this is just too damn peculiar. Mm-hmm. And pulling up your spyglass again, it's a little difficult because of how your ship is rocking and swaying now, but you study this man, and you can see he's still standing on the front, still pointing at your boat, but he seems, I don't know, darker somehow. Almost like the blackness of his clothes has extended some distance around him. It's a really weird illusion. It has to be an optical illusion. What else could it possibly be?
Hey man, he's creeping me out. Can anybody? Do we have any sharpshooter archers? Somebody shoot that man.
The archers look around at each other uncertainly, and we'll try, Captain. We're at the limit of our range, but we'll try. And they all step up to the rail and all draw back. Give me a 20 side.
Okay.
How many archers is it total?
15.
Oh man, 9.
Can I roll for like 2 of them?
I already rolled for several more, so.
Oh, okay. Well, then
I got a 9. Yeah.
Everybody rolled badly, including Captain Gross. The archers pull back and loose, and you see the arrow shafts leave the bows, and then they immediately start tumbling in the wild air currents and fall into the ocean around your ship harmlessly. The wind is getting really rough now. It is almost like you're sailing through a gale. But it's not driving hard from any one direction. It's like it's coming in from everywhere at once. Captain Sharp, you haven't been able to figure out what exactly is going on or what's causing this, but now you are quite certain that the wind is blowing from every direction and converging on this ship.
It's because I saw the arrows.
Yeah, you can see the water too. It looks like the waves are just being blown right towards the ship. Still no clue as to why, though.
I go, What's the distance right now? Probably get like two boats,
You're-
3 boats length, probably
You're
away.
about 200 yards.
200 yards. So about 50. Yeah, that's way outside my range of my archers.
Right on the edge. Right on the edge.
Yeah,
2 football fields? Yeah, that's too much.
yeah. I go. So if I'm facing this way. The boat should probably be like somewhat to the side right here. They right here, and I'm right here.
Mm-hmm. So you're not exactly at a dead stop right now. You're advancing
I'm just
slowly.
slowly. So I'm gonna go further left.
Oh, try to widen out your arc so you can
Yeah. So
off the side.
Because if he happens to take his attention off of them and put it to me, then cool. If not, then I have at least a good opportunity at least to shoot something. So I'm going to the left, just a little bit more wide, just to try to come around.
Mm-hmm. You start veering a little bit more to the left to make an arc around Captain Gross's boat, trying to get closer to this other barge, which has not slowed its advance, continues moving forward. And it seems that the closer it gets to Captain Gross's battle galley, whatever weird effect is happening seems to be getting stronger.
Hmm.
Captain Gross, your ship is bucking and heaving like you're on the open ocean in a storm at this point. And the crew are all looking positively terrified. The archers have had to put down their bows and grab hold of the railing to avoid being pitched over the side. And the man at the helm in the back is like, "Orders, Captain! I don't think we can take much more of this!
Everybody, go to the deck below.
Below! Below! Aye, Captain!" And you see men starting to tentatively climb down from the rigging, trying not to get flung off into the water around them. And suddenly you hear a low, moaning groan from the ship. And the whole thing shakes. And the deck vibrates under your feet.
Oh.
Ooh, yes.
Uh-oh.
5-eye Phantom.
What in the name of Negros is going on?
Invoking your own name, I love it.
It was immediately at that instant that Sergio decided to commit seppuku.
But Sergio's is already dead, and so.
That's nice spelling, like Kneegrow.
Yeah. We got that. We got it. That is how he originally spelled it. I have it here in my notes.
Everybody, that is the show. Thank you for watching.
Yep. We've been Failed PG. Nice talking to you.
Taught you how to spell Negroes.
Oh, is this the part where I roll the intro clip again? Is that what you're telling me?
Hey, I almost named the ship KFC, so it's a Negros.
Well, we've killed Serge.
I want to go home now, please.
Well, you are wondering what the heck is going on, and at that moment you hear a loud crunch, and the whole ship seems to bow inward on itself towards the prow. And the wind now has picked up to a howl, and it seems to be rushing inward towards the front of the ship from all sides. Everybody's hanging on for dear life at this point. Some of the men in the rigging are actually holding on to a single rope and are flying in the wind like a flag, almost like they're being sucked towards the front end of the ship.
Oh my goodness. Hey, does our ship have cannons?
No, you have the
Ballista.
harpoon launcher
Yeah,
is on the
ballista,
front
but that's
still.
about it.
Oh, you know what? It looks like if I don't do anything, I'm gonna die. So I get somebody to shoot the harpoon launcher at the other ship.
All right, you give orders to fire the harpoon, and most of the crew are holding on for dear life and don't really move. But one of the soldiers near the front grits his teeth and says, "Aye, Captain!" Lets go his longbow, which flies out into the wind and disappears over the front of the ship. And he, hand over hand, starts walking along the rail towards the harpoon launcher. Manages to get his hands on the launcher itself, fighting the wind, trying to swivel it around to point at the ship.
And I tell him, I tell him, don't shoot unless you absolutely have a good shot.
Captain! Give me a 20 side to see if you can help him make this shot.
Oh lordy! Come on, baby, you can roll good. Come on. Oh my goodness! What with these 9s? I got a 9.
9. I got a 4. That's good enough. Combined, that's not enough.
The harpoon gets caught in the wind. It turns around and impales my face.
That's what happened if you would have got a 1.
Yeah, that's been a 1 for sure.
I would have got a 1 and he got a 1.
The soldier pulls the lever, the ballista flies forward, the harpoon bolt shoots out and disappears about 3 yards in front of the ship.
Wow.
Just gone. The rope continues going, paying out from the little pile on the deck, disappearing into what you now see is a dark patch in the air right above the rail of the ship, which seems to be getting larger. And the rope just keeps feeding into this dark spot. Shortly after that, one of the sailors in the rigging loses his grip and falls out of the rigging, flies through the air and into this black spot and also disappears.
What? No.
Captain Sharp, give me a 12 side to see if you see any of this nonsense that's going.
I hope he does.
12.
Do I hope he does?
A 12. Yeah.
I saw everything.
You are watching all of this through the spyglass.
I go. Further left.
Further left, aye, Captain.
No, we're just gonna keep. We're just gonna
further left. Yeah. You're not circling around anymore. Now you're just like, yeah, peeling away from that. We don't want any of that stuff.
Yeah, I think I don't want to die today.
Hey, does it turn into an isekai for Captain Negros? And I'm
you're hoping to get isekai'd into the next dimension. Unfortunately,
we get Striker into the future.
Go. Unfortunately, you started in a fantasy world. You needed to get hit with a super strong meteor attack in order to get isekai'd into the modern world. And to get isekai'd from the modern world, you have to get hit by a semi-truck. So since neither one of these things are happening, there's no isekai involved here.
Technically.
Or open up a computer program that sucks you into somewhere. But again, there's no computer, so you can't be isekai.
It could be a portal. Strike into the future.
So many rules to that freaking genre.
Strike into the future because of this black hole.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'm like,
just floating in space and get picked up.
So in the Gundam RP now, we need a Captain Negros. That's probably what's going to happen here.
Yeah.
Maybe.
No, but so I see this happening, and I'm like, all right, keep left, just enough. Stay out of the line. If I can see what I'm looking at, if I can see how far that the way the winds and stuff is changing, come out. I was just gonna stay far enough out so I don't get hit by it, and hopefully, when I get a good sight, it's enough. I'm gonna use my harpoon.
Your ship starts to veer away even further to the left, and around that time, the helmsman says, "Something's got us, Captain! We're being pulled backwards!"
Say what now?
And you notice that the wind, as I said before, seems to be blowing from all directions toward Captain Negros' ship, the Phantom.
oh.
Drop the
Which
sails.
means your sail is pulling you backward.
Drop the sails. Drop the sail.
Drop the sail, drop the sail, cut the lines! We're gonna get sucked in! And it seems like the current of the river is also pulling you that way.
God
The
dang
men at the oars are like rowing for all that they're worth, but they're struggling to fight this current that's arisen. Captain Gross, you watch with some measure of amazement as this dark spot, for lack of a better term, expands outward slowly and begins encompassing the forward parts of your ship. You see the rails and the deck just disappearing as if swallowed by this dark orb.
Oh my god. He's like, man, abandoned ship!
Abandoned ship! Abandoned ship! And a couple of the soldiers on the front rail are like, if we let go, we're gonna die anyway!
Oh man. This is it. Oh, we're goners. Wait, can I find... No, that's not gonna work, because it's a big black hole in front of... Or some weird black energy in front of us.
What were you gonna do?
No, nothing. Hey, can I yell out to the person? He's like, what do you want? What do you
Sure.
want?
You can shout it.
Alright, I'll shout it. Even though it's hopeless. And the guy's probably a sociopath and doesn't care.
Surprisingly enough, you hear an answer above the howl of the wind, almost like it's inside your own skull.
You hear me?
I was gonna say retribution. Get it?
That's a who?
I
Somebody
hate
wrong?
you so goddamn much right now.
When you say death, like what?
Nobody
somebody
remembers
wrong
meh
you?
retribution. Don't ever bring them up again.
And then Negros is like, death for who? Like, does somebody owe you money? Or somebody like sleep with your wife? Like, what's going on? Like, what?
God damn it, he had to turn into Noel within the last moments of his life.
I swear they're cousins. They're probably cousins.
I love it. I love it. You don't get another answer, though. You have probably a good 30 seconds before this sphere expands enough to consume the whole ship and you along with it. If you're going to follow your own advice and jump overboard, now would be the time.
Oh, well, abandoned ship, man. Nice knowing you.
I got a question. Is the black just in front of the ship, of their ship? Like,
Yes.
It's like not around the other part of the ship?
The ship.
Am I closer to the side of the ship by now?
You're ahead of the ship, but well off to the left. You're probably at 300 yards distance now. Your men finally did manage to furl the sails, and rowing frantically like their lives depended on it, the rowers were able to overcome the current and get just a little bit more distance.
Okay.
So you're probably okay for the moment. But if that black spot keeps expanding, there's no telling what might happen.
God dang it. I look over, I'm like, see if I can see Negros. I'm gonna go, you are a mighty fine captain. And I just keep going past so I can try to get away, just so I can, warn people.
Mm-hmm. And as you look back and raise a salute, you see men spilling over the sides of the ship. A few of them jump, but too close to the black hole, and they get sucked out away from the water and then into the expanding orb.
Whee!
Yeah. You think you see one that might have been Captain Gross himself jumping over the side. Maybe he escaped. It's hard to tell from this distance and with all the commotion going on. And then all of a sudden, you see the whole of Phantom shiver. And then the whole thing just splinters and shoots into this orb as it suddenly expands fivefold. And the whole ship is consumed. And then the dark orb shrinks down to the size of a pinhead and poof, it's gone. The wind slowly starts to return to a measure of calm. The waves start to settle out, and that cargo barge just keeps sailing right on through the place where the Phantom was a moment ago.
I stop and I wait. Like, halt!
What was I able to abandon ship in time?
Roll 100 side.
Roll 100 side.
Oh
Come
boy!
on. Come on, baby. Come on, Negros.
All right.
while that's going on, I'm just thinking like,
I'm gonna end up. Negros is gonna end up in the world of Harry Potter.
God dang it.
Oh, is he the reason why we got sniped?
Oh yeah, we got terrible. We got an 80.
An 80?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know, man. It's hard to say.
Damn, I'm rolling terrible.
I'm just going like,
Negros might have
dang.
been sucked into the void and sent off to another dimension.
I'm like, dang, we should have stopped that shit when we first saw it the first time.
Yeah.
I want to be the very. Oh, what is this Pokemon?
See, I was gonna ask something in your favor, but now I'm not gonna do it. Now I'm not gonna do it.
Oh crap.
I thought I was gonna die. Where am I?
Oh yes, Digimon.
You know what? Kill him. Kill them both. Kill them both.
Well, the barge slides right on past, completely unperturbed, doesn't stop. Captain Sharp, you will say, you feel more than see the eyes of that lone, dark-clothed figure on the front of the ship. You feel the eyes on you, but nothing else. No black orbs appear in front of you, apparently.
And I take off my hat and I go, well played. Well played.
We'll have
That
to
was
see. But we'll have to see what happens to poor Captain Gross, if he returns later or not.
Digimon, digital monsters.
I have a question.
Yes.
In what direction are they heading?
South. Towards Lagash.
Mm-hmm.
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 So, Ronnie, Stryker, Noel.
I
We
there.
last left you off, guys, at the one of the marketplaces, one of the market districts. I believe Stryker had just gotten his fresh bowstring and some new arrows for his shiny new bow. And Noel, you had been talking about maybe going to see a blacksmith for something, or an armorer. I don't really remember exactly.
Oh, I remember it was oh yeah, I was trying to make my longsword, that really powerful longsword, stronger, or was it? Or was I? What was I doing with it?
I think he was trying to make it stronger because
Or was it? Was it my dual swords? Oh, wait. Let me look at my inventory.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was a long sword because remember, because it's an old sword, you wanted to make sure it was nice and clean and fixed up.
Oh yeah, you're right. Even though the thing was powerful, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
you just want to make sure it doesn't, break.
So, you want to go back to that blacksmith that you guys had found earlier in the day who didn't seem to speak a word of your language, or are you going to look around for another one?
Was he a really good blacksmith, or we don't know? I guess
You don't know.
We gonna look for another one.
All right.
And Ronnie just
Oh,
kind
wait!
of points out that you're kind of burning daylight. We
How
should
about-
probably be heading to this Oracle person that you two mentioned at this point.
How about what?
Is anybody have gold? We can pay somebody to be our translator. If we can find somebody that speaks our language.
Ronnie looks at Stryker. I'm not giving him any more gold to spend.
Hey, that's gonna help us out. That's not just a me problem.
Yeah, I don't have enough.
And Ronnie goes and looks at you. I don't need anyone. When I get back over to Lagash, I will go see Uncle Auric.
Yeah, but I don't want it to be crooked.
She just rolls her eyes and points at the battle axe on her back and goes, sadly enough, I used to say the same thing until I got this thing.
It leans to the right. Never mind. Anyway,
It's actually shaped like a thunderbolt, is what you don't realize at the end.
I'm like, let's just drop it off at that guy, then we'll go see the Oracle, then we come back.
Is there any way we can just leave him behind and just go do this? Do we have to stay with him?
mean, no. You want to go get that fixed and we just run up real quick?
I can do it. I can go with you guys and do it later.
All right. Let's go to the Oracle a little.
Y'all even remember why you were going to the Oracle?
I do.
Sadly, I got pregnancy brain too.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember, but I also feel like it's better to just troll him and wait until we get there. Because Rania has 2 reasons for being there, and one of them is that she wants to meet a dragon.
Well, I know that
it's a
one.
dragon. I don't believe anybody's mentioned that the Oracle happens to be a dragon.
Nope, I remember that.
Nope.
Oh, I do remember.
But
yeah.
in her mind, this oracle can tell her where a dragon is.
Why does... Oh, because Ronnie wants actual dragon scales instead of the serpent scales?
Right.
I remember that now. All right,
Well,
so y'all are marching up to the monastery.
We should be taking some Reggios up there.
Are you gonna make mail? Or,
We've
or,
already cremated his
Ashes, right?
Ashes and
he was
everything.
taking.
Yeah,
he
you've
was
got an
taking-
urn of Sergio's.
Yeah, so
There was mention of asking them to, I guess, store him in the mountain or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah. So.
What did you say, Goat?
Oh no, I'm just like, yeah, that must be really powerful scale armor because the scale armor I got from that beast is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, if you get that from a dragon, you know what I mean? I can only imagine.
oh, the things that Uncle Arak would be able to do with it. He'd be able to make something that looks beautiful but seems light at the same time, but very strong.
Oh, look at Ronnie want to flex. Look at that.
Well, now Ronnie can try and flex. Actually, which one of you is going to take lead to go to the monastery?
This guy.
All right, Striker,
Striker.
roll 100 sides. See if you can remember how to get back there.
Nope,
Ronnie,
I'm pretty sure.
yeah, Ronnie's just gonna pull out her map.
Oh yeah, she
She's
got
had
one. I remember.
such success with that in the past.
I'm about to say, I didn't know I don't have a map. Sheesh. Been here so many times. 51.
All right. You start making your way northward. You don't remember exactly what streets you need to take from here to get there, but you know that the bridge you're looking for is north and west, so.
Mm-hmm.
About an hour passes, the sun climbs a little higher, but you eventually make your way to the bridge and the place where the path forks off. Now, you remember, is it the left fork or is it the right fork?
It's the left fork.
Left fork. Okay, yeah. You start going down the left fork. Ronnie, you seem to recall the left fork is what takes you to the quarry.
Excuse me. Why are we heading towards the quarry?
No. I had to think about it for a second. Say, no. When we came, oh yeah, because we were running, and then you're right, my bad.
Backtrack to the right fork.
To the right.
And I will say at this point, Ronnie, you're noticing that nice goat fur pelt, or goat pelt coat, I should say, that you got is definitely doing its job now. You're nice and toasty warm despite the rapidly falling temperature as you guys ascend the mountain.
Which is good, considering I still don't have a shirt under my armor top right now.
Mm-hmm. Might want to look into that.
And then I go,
Later.
She don't have a shirt on. What?
Striker having some thoughts.
I was like, wait, I got a girlfriend back home. Maybe.
You've been gone a long time.
She might be getting up. She might be getting up to what Goat's wife is getting up to. She works around a lot of soldiers. Just saying.
Yeah.
She could be giving them some special healing.
If you're talking, Goat, we can't hear you.
She's making them food. She's knitting. You know, she's fixing their armor, stuff like that. You know, she's
Mhm.
doing. She's
She's faithful. And I go like, Yeah, and I'm thinking in my head like, yeah, right.
She might have gone home
Wait,
to,
I'm like, what do you mean by that? You're like, of course she's faithful. Like, what do you mean? Why are you
she
saying
might
redundant stuff? Like,
might have gone back home to Uruk and been recruited by Menopause Mary. You never know. Join the brothel.
That was so long ago. I remember. I'm surprised you remember that.
Oh, it's canon, man. It's in my notes.
I'm just gonna
Oh
sit
man,
here.
when Menopause Mary becomes a part of lore, that's when you know.
I'm
That's
gonna
when
sit
you
here-
know.
I was gonna sit here and eat my birthday cake.
She don't. Oh, I remember the lore. She did. She, you know.
Oh, did they actually
doesn't-
did they actually care enough about your birthday to get you cake?
Yes.
You know.
Oh,
You gotta lock her up because she doesn't get moist by herself anymore.
I cared enough to get him something for his birthday. He's fine.
Don't make Mr. Ross choke.
It's
You
a little
said I
late
had
for
to
that.
lacquer her up.
All these wonderful thoughts about what your charming girlfriend might be doing.
I know, right?
With Menopause Mary and
Noel's
the
wife.
other harlots inside of the brothel. And Noel's wife, yes, also, yes.
They get a 3-for-1 special.
Oh, I remember that. Oh, that was a really majestic
Oh man.
harlot named Lysol. Oh man.
He said like,
Oh, good lord.
okay, come on.
Yeah, before it gets any worse, after an hour or so, ascending the mountain, you come upon the gate to the monastery. The large carved dragon head seated neatly above. People working around back and forth. You see some folks hauling grain carts, a few hauling carts with large barrels on them. A few donkeys are braying and making a fuss. You also see a couple of people in decently fine clothing going up and down the slopes inside the monastery who look like they maybe don't belong there. Might be visitors like yourself.
So as all this is happening, Ronnie is like almost like a kid in a candy shop for the first time, right? Like she's never seen such ornate stuff before, and the dragon sculptures all over the place. These other people, she's literally going, I came to the right place. I definitely came to the right place. I'm finally gonna get to find a dragon. I'm gonna finally get to find a dragon. And she's looking around, and she's like literally like being like that annoying 5-year-old kid. So she keeps like grabbing at Stryker. Is that one the Oracle? Is that one the Oracle? That was the Oracle.
I go.
Hey, and I go. Hey, Ronnie, is this why you're still single? You're looking. You're
God damn it.
And immediately,
I grabbed
instead of
Ronnie.
like saying
I grabbed
anything,
Ronnie.
no,
I just grabbed
you'll love this. Instead of saying anything or turning around and getting angry, Ronnie just goes, "Aw, is that why your wife is still sitting there working out the brothel with 5 guys at once at the same time?"
Yeah,
Like,
she's helping clean the place.
If that's what you want to call it.
She's cleaning the spears, if you know what I mean. Yeah.
Polishing all their tips with a tongue.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
she's pretty good at that.
Oh yeah, and I'm sure the entire troop know.
Yeah, what else would she be doing?
while they're doing this, I'm just walking. I just go like, I was like, just walking up towards.
As Stryker keeps going, Ronnie's like looking around, still awestruck, and she sees Stryker walking off. She just like runs up on Stryker. Wait! Which one of these guys is the Oracle? Tell me!
I put my hand on the head. And I say, just wait, follow me.
Wait, are you
Every
saying
time-
none of these people are the Oracle?
Just wait, follow me.
Every time I talk to Menopause Mary about my wife, she gets nervous and starts looking around.
Yeah, that makes sense.
One of the people, one of the monks, by the look of him, moving some of those casks around, hears you saying this and looks over his shoulder, like, "Oh yeah, that sounds like a problem. My woman left me for the same kind of reasons. I tell you what, here." Then he Reaches and fumbles in his pack and pulls out a flask or something. Yeah, this will wet your whistle, make you feel better, lad. It'll make you feel better.
Wait, what are you talking about?
He's saying your wife is stepping out on you, just like his wife was doing the same thing.
There's no such thing. She's very faithful. She's freaking,
Oh, I know it makes it easier to think about it that way, but really and truly, in the long run, it's better to just, rip the wound open, get the bleeding over and done with, and then move on with your life, lad. It's okay.
What are you talking about? We're happily married.
Yeah.
Ronnie just kind of turns around and goes, I like this guy. He knows what he's talking about.
It's like this guy's delusional. Anyway, you sound like a nice. I'll take the liquor though if you're gonna give it to me.
Well, if you change your mind, there's plenty more where that came from. And he pats the cask that he's loading up into a cart with another dozen, just like it.
You drink your pain away. Cause just like your wife is drinking all the other pain away.
That's what I did, and it worked for me. If it worked for me, it can work for you.
Wait, what happened with your wife, mister?
Oh, how long do you have?
We don't have that much time.
Oh, it sounds interesting. Like I sit down in an Indian style and I go like this.
All right, while he's doing that, Rodney starts walking.
Well, you see, it all started 25 years ago.
I'll let Ronnie just come with me, grab her hand, and just like, let's
Wait,
go.
the milkman, the blacksmith?
And the farrier, and the horse handler. Yep, you heard that right. The bartender, which was the most egregious one because, of course, I supplied him with all the beer, so imagine my surprise.
That's why you got an extra tip.
Well, how scandalous. On your own rocking chair, too?
Oh, man. That extra tip, Mom, was perfectly timed. Good job. Bravo for the timing. Bravo.
I always have one, and that was my one for the day.
That was your one.
Yep. So Noel is going to stay back and talk to this poor fella about the wife that left him, the 25-year saga. Stryker and Ronnie continue ascending. I assume Noel's going to catch up eventually, but we'll find out what he does in a bit.
Hey guys, leave without me. This guy's story sounds really, really interesting.
His story is your story.
I don't know what that means, but
he knows what it means.
You climb up to the second tier, and you see that the beer peddlers and the grain farmers fall away, and now it seems to be more older men and even a few older women shuffling around with stacks of parchment or interesting little widgets and doodads and bits and bobs, and more of those people in the fancy robes that look like they are probably just visiting, going up and down, some of them with rather disdainful looks on their faces as they look side to side or around the pathway.
Are they always
Ronnie.
tight around this park?
Get a couple of drinks in them and they calm down a lot. But, for the most part, they got to look dignified, important to the, lower class people. But none of them can fight, so decide to whoop their asses. You can.
Well, so long as I don't have a reason to.
As you continue walking up the second tier, suddenly a large orange cloud erupts from one of the buildings to your left, and the door suddenly is flung open, and several people in colorful robes, which are now thoroughly stained orange, come out. And wiping their faces and their eyes. Oh, this was imported silk. And start hurrying down towards the first tier.
I'm like, why does this place seem familiar? Can I do a perception, intelligence check?
Sure, give me a 12.
I was like, this place looks so familiar.
And while he's doing that, what's the aroma of this orange stuff that's coming out of it?
The only word you can think of, Ronnie, to describe it is pungent.
Oh.
5 minus 1 equals 4.
You do kind of remember this building. You think that you've been there before, but you can't for the life of you remember why.
Can I step inside?
Sure. The orange smoke is starting to dissipate. You see somebody going around inside, opening windows and stuff to let the smoke out.
I go in real quick. I say, "You okay? Everybody okay in here?"
And a wizened old fellow with orange stained in his long drooping mustaches and long drooping eyebrows glances up from the countertop with drooping eyes and says, "May I help you, sir?"
Are you okay?
"Yes, don't mind the smoke. It happens from time to time."
What are you doing in here?
"Well, this is an alchemy shop. Do you have need of alchemical reagents or alchemical services, sir?"
Not that I know of. Ronnie, you need anything?
I'm good. If it doesn't have
You good?
anything to do with the dragon, I'm fine.
Okay.
Very well. Have a pleasant afternoon.
As long as you're okay, my man. And then I just walk out and start going back to the hotel. I was like, why did that place seem so familiar? It'll come back to me later.
Can I do a Sir Reggio's roll to see if Sir Reggio's can remind me why that's familiar?
Sure. Give me a
God
12.
damn it, I thought if I burned him, he would go away.
Nope.
If he's bothering you, just shake the urn.
It is a 6.
A 6. Seregios, you do recall that you and Stryker went to that particular alchemist shop once, a long time ago, for a job, to obtain what they called flash powder.
Hey, Stryker, do you remember us getting flash powder from that guy like years ago?
It's gone.
Oh, I'm never gone. I told you. If I die... Hey, goddamn, don't shake me! What's wrong with you?
Flash powder, flash powder, flash powder. Oh, yeah! Man, I gotta get some when we come back down.
I kind of wish we had some when we were in that place. Maybe we all would have gotten out a little less scathed.
Probably.
And maybe I'd still have a head.
Nah.
Oh, that's dirty. You dirty.
Shut up.
Hey. And as he's doing all this, Ronnie's watching, just scratching her head. He just really doesn't know how to let go, poor fella.
Yep.
What are you talking
Sad.
about? If I let him go, he'll roll down the hill.
And Ronnie walks over and puts her arms around your shoulder. It's okay. He'll always be with you in spirit. And as she says that, Sir Reggio's ghost just kind of looms over your shoulder and smiles.
And I go,
That's assuming he's dead.
and I go, you have no idea. And I start
Aw,
walking.
you do care.
God damn it.
Vegeta!
Wait,
Haunting you.
did we cremate the body yet?
Yeah, it's already
Yeah.
been done. It's in the urn.
Okay.
That's what
He's
he's
in the
shaking.
jar
He's
that-
shaking the urn right now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember we did that last episode. Okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
Come on, Ryan. We gotta hurry up. Let's go.
Ah,
Guys, continue on the full length of the second tier and start rounding up the hill to the third. Noel, are you still sitting with this interesting beer brewer talking about wives, past wives?
I'm like, man, you make me feel like appreciate my wife more.
Oh, the delusion only grows stronger. I love it.
yeah, God, I love it.
Like, she's so loyal and nice, and you have all these man. I'm gonna make a word up in like a bunch of thoughts. Like, what's a thought?
I'm walking up here and I just got to itch out and say, she's cheating, bro. She's cheating.
Oh, who's he talking to?
Ronnie just kind of looks at Stryker when he yells that, and it's like, who are you yelling at?
I just got a feeling Noah's talking about his wife, and I just pretty sure He just said she was faithful.
Oh, the poor delusional guy. Maybe one day, he'll finally understand. Or she'll just straight out tell him.
I don't
Honey,
think
is
he
that
even
porridge
believed
in your bottom lip? I was like, yeah. She's like, sure.
Yeah, it's definitely porridge.
it.
You guys start ascending the third tier, and the astronomy shops and alchemy shops fall away, and now it's rather large, square, stately-looking buildings with even more wizened old folks and some young folks in plain robes running back and forth now with large piles of scrolls or large stacks of books in their hands, going from building to building.
I go, oh, I remember this level. Where we try to have the scroll decrypted.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we don't need to go here no more. Let's keep going.
You guys keep going up to the highest level of the third tier, and here the pathway splits. To the left, it goes up to a very ornately carved stone door, which seems to be cut into the sheer face of the mountain. And on the right, it tapers off into a thin, narrow trail that continues wending its way around the mountain and out of sight.
Hey, Ronnie, which way you think we should take?
Ronnie just stares at the stone door and walks towards it. She doesn't immediately assume that's the way. She just walks and starts to study the door. It's interests her for some reason.
Mm-hmm. Well, there, you can roll a 12 side if you want to actually study the carvings on the door. Striker, what are you doing?
I'm just waiting for her to open the door.
I rolled a 6. I'm getting
6.
6s left and right.
Everybody seems to be having kind of mediocre rolls today. It's interesting.
That is interesting, actually.
It's because I'm 30. It's because I'm old now. That's why.
No, the whole door has these inscriptions in it, and when you finish reading it, it's just M. Night Shyamalan's full name.
I hate you so much right now because that's actually genius. That's actually a very genius prank to play on somebody in real life. I don't care what you say. To literally take M. Night Shyamalan's name and put it in another language and use it as
you
a
haven't
description.
seen his full name? You ever see his full name? That's his short name so people can read it. It's Hugh. His name is Hugh.
I will have to look into this now.
I will too, actually.
Thing to carve into a Halloween decoration.
Right? That would be so hilarious. But
That's
wait,
a neat idea.
what language do we do it in though? When we do it, that's the question.
His actual
Do we do it in Greek?
What script do you use? Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Like, if you can read
I'd
this, you
probably
get a piece of
use
candy.
The Daedric script from Oblivion,
Oh.
the Elder Scrolls Oblivion series.
Do you actually have a thing to actually do the translation?
I have a font for that. Yes, I have an Oblivion script font.
I'm gonna need that.
All right.
He gonna be like, hey, if you can read this, you get a piece of candy. If you can't,
There you go. His full name is Manoj Neliyatu Shyamalan.
Wow. Yeah, that would look pretty good in Daedric.
He sounds like a prayer from a Necrocon.
Yeah, Necrocomicon, you're right. But it's funny because as soon as you said that, the first thing that popped in my mind was Los Ferratus.
That's what happened. He sold his soul for the first 2 movies. Then the devil's like, I got nothing else for you. Then he made the Avatar.
Oh, that's harsh. But you're not wrong.
No,
You're
do you know
not
how
wrong.
bad that movie? I'm sorry, I'm off subject. Let's go back to the RP.
Yeah, let's get back to this. But you're not wrong.
Before I go insane. So I rolled a 6.
You do see some inscriptions in a script that you don't recognize edging around the doorframe, and what looks like stylized scrolls and books and things all up and down the sides. And the point in the middle where the 2 halves of the door meet, around that is this rather elegantly carved outline of a dragon's head, in keeping with the style of many of the other buildings and walls that you've seen so far.
So instead of getting overly excited like she was when they first walked into the building, she's more appreciative of the culture. Like, she can tell that whatever this is has been done a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And this area, they've truly upheld keeping the culture of their time for times kept over centuries. So it's just, it kind of reminds her of how stories of past generations that's been passed through her village have kept up as well. So there's a small bit of kinship.
You also notice as you're studying the door that there are no handles.
And at that point, that's when she turns to Stryker. How do you open a door with no handles?
Open, set. No, you just push it.
Stryker does a little dance.
Stryker. So since Stryker said to push it, Ronnie places her hand against the door and begins to push against it to see if it actually opens.
Give me a 12 side. Ronnie is a strong girl.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly, when they were there, the guy actually pressed a button with a stone that was in the stone that opened the door. But obviously, she wouldn't know that. So.
The door said no E-Fox, and it said denied.
Oh man, we really are rolling low today.
Oh, what did you learn? What
A
did you roll?
3. I never roll a 3 on the strength check. Never.
That's awfully low for Ronnie. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that is fine.
It's because I'm trolling her.
Even with the plus,
it is because Stryker's trolling her.
Yeah,
it is totally because he's trolling her.
Yeah, that's like
Ronnie.
That's an 8 total. That ain't nothing.
Put your hands on the door and push. They don't budge. You push again. Put more of your weight into it. They don't budge. You scrabble your feet like a little cartoon in the dirt. Nope. Doesn't budge at all.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
I say, and I go, and I'm like, I look for the stone real quick. I was like, oh, it's right there. All right, I say, all right, Ronnie, one more time. You ready? Push.
Are we really doing this?
Are you gonna do it?
Are we really doing this? I'll do it if we're really doing it.
Do
Are
it.
we really doing it?
Sounds like we're doing this. Do it.
I guess I'm doing it then. I roll again?
No, you don't need to roll for this. No, not with this epic level of trolling. Go ahead.
Push is all you might. Push. And I just go, click.
Now here's the question I have. I don't remember. Did those doors open outwardly or inwardly?
I believe it was outward.
Oh, so now she's getting pushed
You're
by
pushing
the
on the
door.
door, and the door is pushing you. Starts pushing you back. Your feet sliding in the dirt.
So once
Wow,
the
she's
door
so strong,
now,
she pushed you and came in.
now here's what I'm gonna ask: where is Stryker standing at to where Ronnie ends up at after the doors push her all the way back?
Button's off on the left.
Okay.
And when the doors open, they don't quite open right into the wall. Like there's a little bit of space in there,
Right.
so that Ronnie is not going to get squished. But yeah, Ronnie basically ends up between the wall and the door, with Stryker right there in front of her, pushing the button.
So
Hi,
Ronnie
Ronnie.
slowly turns her head and looks at Stryker, and just immediately punches him dead in his shoulder.
Look, I gotta have some fun with what we're about to go through. Jeez.
Come on, jerk.
Hey, Stryker, take 1 point of damage.
That's fine. I'll take it. Dang, I'm now back at 24.
that was worthwhile. It was worthwhile for that.
It was
troll.
worth it. It was so worth it.
Oh, it wasn't like a little tap. She actually put force behind it.
No, she actually put force. It would have been way more than 1 point of damage.
Yeah.
At that
He's like,
point, at that point, that's him telling me to roll for a strength check, and then telling him to roll for damage. So he might, maybe, get 1 damage if he can roll a 1 for unhanded. What is it? Unhand combat check, right?
Mhm.
So it's the 4 side.
Oh,
Well,
you remember that?
technically speaking,
Yeah.
the unarmed damage is 1. No dice required. It's just 1, and then plus your damage modifier. I did roll a 4 side for that though.
Okay. So there you go. So you got lucky. He rolled and landed on a 1.
Yeah. I was like, I'll be like, I love you too. Let's go.
Ronnie just shakes her head and just starts storming in through the door.
I was like, whoa. Before you start storming. There are a couple rules in here. First I look around, I was like, well, we ain't gonna follow those rules. Let's go. We ain't got time to wait and do all this other stuff. Let's go.
So he's not even going
alright.
to tell her to holster her weapon. That's interesting.
Yeah, this is going to get real interesting. So you guys start
Alright.
stalking down the hall. What's up, Noel?
No, I'll get to it later. You keep going.
You sure?
I'm sure.
All right, all right. You start stalking down the hall. Ronnie, you're probably halfway down before the irritation wears off enough that you notice that the torches regularly spaced along the wall emit no smoke, and that the wall and floor seem to be completely smooth, with no tool marks whatsoever. Although the interior is well lit, it's remarkably plain compared to the ornate carving on the door, and you hear a soft boom as the doors close behind you.
And as they're walking, Ronnie just starts kind of feeling the wall around her, just kind of trying to figure out like if she can tell like what kind of stone this is, or if because there's no tool marks, if there were ever really a tool to begin with, or if this is just somehow a natural form.
Mm-hmm. You can give me a 12 side for intelligence to see if you
I
can.
can't remember. Was there a chest out there that held the weapons like last time?
There was a rack.
It was a weapons rack.
Mhm.
Okay. I don't know.
6.
Mhm. It's stone, and it's really smooth, and that's about all you can figure from that.
Yep, that's about all I would get off of a 7 in total.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Alright, so as we get closer to the door, I'm like, ah. I don't think she's gonna be happy when we start talking about stuff, but you know, or he, or she, whatever you wanna, just know.
Ronnie raises an eyebrow. You said she very quickly and very precisely. So the Oracle is a woman.
I just said she because sometimes she sounds like a girl, but you know, could be a.
You've seen the Oracle in person.
Sure. Person. And I do air quotes. Person.
So
Mm-hmm.
Ronnie just kind of raises an eyebrow to Stryker. At this point now she just feels like maybe he's trying to troll her again.
And I go, hold on.
So
Just whatever you do, don't look the Oracle in the eye.
Sure. And with that, she just keeps him going.
You guys are a few paces away from the latticework door, interior door. You can sort of see through the little holes in the latticework that there is a chamber beyond, although you can't see what's in the chamber. However, as you approach, you hear some loud noises from inside, some sort of shuffling and moving around, and then suddenly there's a crash, like pottery shattering on the floor.
Boom. Oh, what?
Did you hear that?
Yeah, let's hurry up. Let's make sure everything's okay.
Ronnie just immediately starts running towards the
Okay, you're running through.
We're racing.
Give me a 12 side to see if you can force the door open at your run without slowing down too much.
Us together or by ourselves?
Are you both hitting the door at the same time?
Oh, I'm running with him.
All right, yeah, then both together.
Okay, so here's hoping that you roll something. Wait, was that a dex roll or was that an attack roll?
That was a strength roll. 12 side.
12 side.
So
Okay.
I rolled a 6 plus my 5. So I don't know if that's going to be enough on an 11, but let's see.
11. I rolled I rolled a 1 plus 2, so that's 3.
Okay, all right. You guys charge down the hallway and together throw your shoulders into this latticework door, which did have a small bar on it, but it isn't enough to survive that. The door crashes open, and the two of you, sort of stumbling a little bit from the impact, manage to get into the chamber, which opens up before you. And Ronnie, two things that you notice right off the bat. The first is that the chamber that you're in is quite large, larger than any chamber you have ever stood in your life, just from the height of the ceiling and like the size of the room. And the second thing is there are 2 large dragons in the room with you. So Stryker and Ronnie, One of the dragons is white and feathered, and Striker, you recognize that one right away as the Oracle. And the second one is a fiery red from tip to tail and scaled rather than feathered. And the white one is standing in a sort of aggressive, hostile posture, and the red is actually flat prone on the floor, staring up at this the white one. And as you guys crash through, the white one immediately turns its head to regard you. Ronnie, roll 100 side. Actually, both of you roll 100 sides.
Good luck, guys.
Okay, for once, rolling low help. 25.
25.
Jesus, how you get the opposite? I got 75.
75. All right. Both of you roll 12 sides for willpower.
Oh my god, finally a good roll on the 12 side. I got a 10. I rolled a 10.
I got a 3.
Wow. Oh, wow. Come on, Striker.
What's feeding into will check, power check?
That's what's the name for it?
Con save?
That's wisdom.
Wisdom. Oh, so +1, so 11 total. Okay.
So I got 6 then.
Yeah. So you guys stumble in, you see all this, the white dragon snaps its head towards you, and both of you, without meaning to, look straight into its eyes. And both of you notice, for a brief instant, that its blue eyes are cold as ice, and they almost seem to glow. And then suddenly you're both hit with this burning sensation in the back of your skull, almost like there's a hornet's nest that's stinging you. And suddenly you feel like you've committed a horrible atrocity. And you're just unworthy to even be in the presence of this creature. And as one, you both drop to your knees.
I was getting ready to do that anyway. I was like, oh crap. And just dropped down.
Now we have to see what happens next there. Noel, what are you doing during all this?
I'm like, wow. I finished hearing a story, and I'm like, man, I learned a lot from you.
Oh yeah, I tell you what, man. Women, they can be soft and sweet and cuddly, but boy, they are the source of all of men's troubles.
Sometimes my wife nags a little bit. Besides that, she's pretty pleasant.
Well, if that really is the case, then count yourself lucky, my friend. But if it isn't the case, you can always drink to it.
Hey, drinking away your sorrows is not the best way to do it, old man.
Well, to each his own. You do it your way, and and he takes the flask from you and drains the rest of it, shall do mine.
Oh, that's pretty good liquor. Where do you get it from?
I make it, of course. Everyone on the first tier makes beer, you know.
Oh, wow. Where do you ferment it from? Where do I go?
Oh, come, look, see, we have all of these fields of barley here. We grow our own barley to make the beer. We do import a few different kinds of plants for flavor, you understand. Some things don't grow well on the cold slopes, but... Continues walking you around, showing you the barley fields. And if you are so inclined, he's going to show you the breweries as well.
Oh, man, I like to see those.
All right, he's going to take you through all the breweries, too. Ronnie and Striker, you guys are on your knees, palms flat on the ground, weapons discarded at your sides, heads down, just feeling as miserable as you have ever felt in your lives.
May I do a willpower check to get one phrase out?
Yes, you may.
8. It's not going to be enough.
No, it is not. You feel a strange desire in the back of your mind that you want to say something, and the words almost form on your tongue, but you can't quite drum up the motivation to get them out. You're afraid of upsetting the mistress whom you have failed so egregiously, and no, it would be better to just sit here quietly and never move again. About that time, though, you hear a rustling sound and a clambering sound, and out of the corner of your eye, you see the red dragon spring to its feet and whirl around and zoom practically at a dead run, which for a dragon looks really awkward, out the door on the southeast corner of the room. And the white dragon straightens up and glares after the other one for a moment, and then you just hear this heavy sigh. And then it turns its attentions back to you, and you hear suddenly this booming, echoing voice that seems to come from everywhere all at once. You've made things very complicated by doing that.
Where's that voice coming from? Where's the Oracle?
Do stand up, and suddenly, Ronnie and Stryker, that feeling of hornets in the back of your head goes away, and you're wondering why you're kneeling on the floor. You don't remember dropping to your knees. You remember crashing through the door and seeing two dragons, and now you're on the floor.
Okay, Stryker, help me piece this together now. We came rushing through the door when we heard the crash to make sure the Oracle was fine.
Mm-hmm.
We saw two dragons.
Mm-hmm.
We're now on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
What happened in between?
You'll get used to it. Just stand on up like,
Get
oh, God.
used to what?
Ronnie slowly grabs her axe and starts to stand.
And that's when you notice that the white feathered dragon is standing right in front of you, Ronnie, glaring down at you with those piercing sapphire eyes, with what could maybe be described as a frown on its face, although that is kind of hard to tell with draconic features.
And Ronnie's eyes just kind of widen, and then she slowly turns her head to Stryker. Stryker, one of the dragons.
And I go, sorry for barging in, Oracle. We heard a loud crash and we just want to make sure everything was okay.
And you feel this intense displeasure, although you hear no sound that goes with it. You notice as you briefly glance around the room that there is a large vase off in one corner that is now lying in pieces on the floor, probably what made the crashing sound. The dragon in front of you, though, regards you and shakes its head. I do admire the human tendency to come to the aid of a stranger, but you should not have barged in unannounced. And weapons. Why do you bring weapons into my chamber?
I'm sorry, but we didn't have time. We heard the crash and we just rushed.
And Ronnie looks at Stryker.
Wait, were we not supposed to have our weapons on us? You idiot, you could have told me that.
Like I said, we heard a crash, so we rushed.
Just
Now,
say
look
you
at
mean
Ronnie.
no disrespect.
I'm trying to look at Ronnie like, shut up.
Ronnie immediately just drops down to a knee, then places her axes back on the ground and just bows her head in apology.
I even pick him up. I ain't even touch my stuff. My stuff's still on the ground. I was like, why'd you pick him up?
The dragon does look down approvingly at you, Ronnie. You do feel a sort of tingle in the back of your mind that feels like approval. Though again, the creature makes no sound. You're not sure why you feel that way.
Does he look like a dragon, or is like a humanoid dragon?
You don't remember
So
the picture that we showed you last time?
Yeah, it's a four-legged, two-winged, Western-style dragon, but covered in feathers instead of scales.
Oh, I remember that picture. Okay.
It stands 7 feet at the shoulder, 9 feet the top of its head.
Oh, that's a pretty small dragon.
It's about the size of an adult moose.
And Ronnie stands up, and she kind of keeps her head bowed as she does, and she says, "If you would like, I would very much like to take my weapons out of your chamber for a moment."
The dragon regards you for a moment, and then waves a hand off to the side of the room. You may place them against the wall until our business is concluded.
Very well. And she picks up her axes and places them against the wall, but she leaves Sir Regios's shovel, plate armor, and as she's placing her stuff against the wall, she kind of looks at Stryker and kind of nods her head, hoping that Stryker understands to put the urn next to his stuff.
Noel, I know that you're coming up on a hard limit. I'm thinking we should probably call it here for tonight. Do you agree?
Yeah, she literally came in my room like, I went, oh, and I did like, oh.
I thought that was her I heard in the background.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you heard it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then we will call it there for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Bit of a short episode. But next time we'll pick up with Noel's grand tour of the breweries and what an oracle has to say about two fools running headlong into her chambers, fully armed.
I mean, yes.
Yes.
No, that sounds like
Yes.
that sounds like a story from that guy's wife.
Oh no, it could be. Don't ask him about it. He might talk your ear off about that too. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoy this kind of crazy content that we create, and again, I really don't know why you would, because it is crazy. But if you do, there is a like button down there. Make sure to click that. If you want to see more of this nonsense, hit the subscribe. If you actually want to find out when we publish this nonsense, there's a bell button. I don't know if you really want to press that, but you know. And if you want nothing further to do with our crazy shenanigans, then, well, I couldn't blame you. So go on, get out of here, be free, try to recover what brain cells you lost in listening to us all this time.
Upon request, our artist might draw a lewd picture of Menopause Mary.
No. We crowd-self that as fan art.
I mean, the offer's been made now, so don't be surprised if you get some requests.
Now we just need a Discord now. That's all I'm
Oh
gonna
no!
say.
Oh no! Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.